Yo, what up guys? I'm doing another funny IT stories video because I had a lot of fun doing the first one and there is an endless supply of them on Reddit. So let's get straight into it. From a dumb user, I applaud your ability to remain sane. During COVID, we were working from home. We had company laptops and could remotely log into our network securely. At some point, there was a required update. We were to read the user guide and sign up for a scheduled call during which several of us would interact with tech support to make sure all went well. The user guide was 96 pages. Dude. Who the hell makes a user guide 96 pages? That is so excessive. I'd be so pissed, which intimidated me until I opened it and discovered that each page was a screenshot and literally one step. This is the most inefficient use of paper I've seen. Like a separate page to click the link, a page for open the pull down menu, a page for which items to select from the menu. It was a work of art. I was in awe. So I started working my way through the directions. I got to about halfway before the call started. I told support what step I was on and they said, "Great, let me know if you have trouble." I muted my mic and kept working my way through the directions while support spoke to the other person on the call. "Okay, did you click on the link in the email? User, where is my email?" It's literally on the bottom, bro. It's the blue O. Are you logged onto the network? How do I know that? Oh my god, dude. Is your computer turned on? What do you see on your screen? By this point, I had finished my install. I joined back to verify that I had done everything correctly. Great, onward. Just before I exited the call, open a tab in your browser. The user asks, "What's a browser?" A user is not gonna know what the hell a browser is. Just tell them, open up the internet. Doesn't matter. Google, Edge, Firefox, Brave, Opera, anything. Do not tell them browser. It's gibberish for them. I honestly don't know how that other user performed any of their job functions ever. Anyway, anonymous tech support, I applaud your professionalism. I am a firm advocate that whenever you start in a new job, regardless of the field, it doesn't have to be the IT industry, you need to take a mandatory IT assessment. Dude, it could be the most rudimentary information technology assessment there is. Just make sure that the user understands what the hell a browser is. They could see if they're connected to the network, be it Wi-Fi or if they're connected to LAN. It's not hard. Just look on the bottom right. You could clearly see it. Teach them how to check if their volume is up. Dude, I'll never forget when I started working in IT, I obviously started in help desk. I shit you not, I spent like 15 minutes explaining to a user how to open up a browser and go to the support site so I could remote enter their computer. Simple IT assessments. That's all it takes. Please implement that. One day I was helping a guy and he was just not getting it. I said to him, "You used to wrench on cars, right?" He said, "Yes." So I asked, "Would you use an oil filter wrench to loosen or tighten a spark plug?" "No, that would be stupid. It's the wrong tool. It's not meant for that." "Okay, your computer is a tool and the programs on it are tools as well. You need to know which tool to use for which job. That's how you're able to complete the tasks you need to do. If you use the right tool in the correct way, everything will work, right?" Dude, this is so condescending. This is like talking down to a kid and being like, "Now, Jimmy, your right shoe goes on your right foot and your left goes on your left foot. What happens if you put your right shoe on your left foot? You fall." Right. He stopped, looked at me, looked at his computer, looked back at me and said, "That makes so much sense. How come nobody ever explained it like that before?" You really have to applaud the patience some users have, dude. Well, it's a mystery. I was sole tech support for a small but profitable company, only about 75 users, mostly good people, trying hard, but a few special ones. We had a logistics manager that may have been good at logistics, but computer skills were definitely lacking. Unrelated case in point, he had over 50 gigabytes of email in his inbox. That's nothing, bro. That's nothing. I've seen worse. No archives, no folders, just one big pile. That's actually bad. Because at least the ones I've seen, they're compartmentalized in folders and stuff, but just one big pile, that's horrible, man. And he didn't see any problems with that. Anyway, one morning about 9 a.m. or so, he calls and says his laptop screen just went black. I asked him to make sure he had a power adapter plugged in. Duh, of course. I could not remote into the unit. He was at my site, just a different building, so I said I'd be right over. So I dropped what I was doing and trekked to his office. And there he was, paper towels in hand, wiping coffee off his desk. I picked up his laptop till it probably drained a quarter cup of coffee out. Onto his recently dried desk, of course. Dude, I bet he wasn't expecting the guy to get there that quick. He called and he's like, "Oh, I'll clean this up. Before he gets here, he'll never suspect it was coffee." Users like to do that. They'll do something that's embarrassingly stupid, but they don't want the IT person to know. So they make us spend so much effort, time, and work figuring out what the issue is when they could have just been upfront. Yeah, I would have probably called them an idiot, but hey, I would have at least respected you more than, you know, having me there wasting my time trying to figure out what the issue is. Anyways, now that I've concluded my rant, looking him dead in the eye, I asked, "You didn't think spilling a cup of coffee into your laptop had anything to do with the screen just went black?" Wait. So that means Java crashed the computer.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Well, duh, I spilled it into the laptop, not the screen. I thought plugging in this mysterious USB I found on the side of the road into my computer would only affect my computer, not the whole network. LOL, you just reminded me of a user who was really angry we only sent him a monitor and keyboard combo, but no actual PC. How is he supposed to work without a computer? He had been working on a desktop for years, but by now laptops were good enough and he got sent a laptop so he can take it to the meetings. We went back for 2 effing hours, which included me opening the laptop to show him the physical computer in his keyboard monitor combo, till he finally believed me that this was a full-blown computer. There's no way, dude. This guy didn't know what a laptop was? This is the IT assessment that I'm talking about. Can you imagine dealing with a user that doesn't know what a laptop is? I'm like, my mind is actually blown. Bro, this guy's been living under a rock since like the 2000s. We should really be allowed to beat up 2 users a year just so they could at least try to not be the one that made it worth it to use your twice a year coupon. I understand the sentiment. That's really bad. Holy crap. Just when I thought I'd seen it all. That's like peak stupidity. I don't think anything can top that, to be honest. Back in the 57.6 days, brother, I don't even know what that is. How old do you think I am? 57.6 refers to 57.6 kilobytes per second. Ah, that makes sense. That is incredibly slow. Let's see how they put it in Gen Z terms. A 1 minute TikTok taking 10 plus minutes to load. Oh my god, dude. I can't believe people used to work on that. Guys, I'm only 25 years old. Please do not roast me in the comments. I did phone support for FlashNet. I had a call where the user couldn't connect to the internet. I went through all the troubleshooting steps, learning the symptoms by painfully extracting them one by one. After many minutes of troubleshooting and learning that their computer, actually the monitor, was blank, I asked them to make sure the computer and the modem were both plugged into the wall. That's when they told me they needed a flashlight to check because the power was out.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
That might actually be worse than the guy not knowing what a laptop was. I want to say you can't make this up, but this has to be made up because there can't be anybody this dumb. Don't want to listen to IT? A great way to get fired. I'm sure this has been brought up before, but I'll share a funny story from about 10 years ago. Edit, I guess time flies. It's been about 16 years. Working in a medium-sized accounting firm in the big city, had an auditor who thought she knew everything about IT. Simply because her husband worked for RIM, BlackBerry. She was originally from Houston, and I don't care much for folks down there. If you're a Houstonian, don't take too much offense. I'm sure you hate North Texas folk too. Anyway, she walks in with a laptop and says it will not boot up. Sure enough, got message that can't find the OS, give her a loaner. Now we encrypt our laptops at that time with McAfee and point encryption. Pulled out the decrypting software and began to decrypt it for the rest of the day to get safe boot off. Get it off right before 5 p.m. and sure enough, getting smart errors. Called her into the IT office next day and told her that her hard drive was failing. Also discovered she was not saving files to the network drive. Her excuse? Ugh, VPN is too slow, so I saved them to the hard drive. Okay, what if something happens to the computer, dude? I give her back her laptop and tell her to move those files to the server, with the understanding that she will be using the loaner laptop for a while and she needs to bring it back once the files are synced. After about 5 minutes, I got a hunch something wasn't right. I know that sinking feeling. You leave a user to do something that's simple, but you just know, you have that gut feeling like, oh my god, this user's gonna mess this up. Got to her cube, she's freaking gone. Left firm with an unencrypted laptop. She works with people's social security numbers, for heaven's sake. Drive is an imminent threat of mechanical failure. This is like a trifecta of just horrible things that can occur. Next day she arrives, says machine will not load Windows. Yep, smart failure has reached its zenith. Drive is toast. Explain that to her. Next day, one of the partners asks me what happened. I explain all this crap. Found out she didn't sync a freaking thing to the server, and now the firm must write down an additional 60 hours of time that is not billable because all the work has to be recreated. By the next day, she was gone. Actually, cool story, but raised some questions. Not casting any shade, just some observations. A story from about 10 years ago.
Okay, so 2015, setting the stage.
Had an auditor who thought she knew everything about IT simply because her husband worked for RIM.
By 2015, BlackBerry was already in incredibly dire straits after the failed launch of BB10.
We encrypt our laptops at the time with McAfee endpoint encryption.
Only a small gripe here, but that product was not quite long in the tooth yet by 2015. Questionable.
Who the hell says not quite long in the tooth?
Smart is a drive level, regardless if encrypted or not. You would have gotten these prior to any decryption processes, unless the decryption taxed the drive enough to smart it out. Plausible.
VPN is too slow, so I saved them to the hard drive.
No issues here. Users would often say this, but by 2015, Office 365, SharePoint, and OneDrive were increasing daily in usage as businesses sped up adoption.
Like, dude, okay, but that doesn't mean every business is using it. After about 5 minutes, I got a hunch something wasn't right. Go to her cube, she's freaking gone.
A hunch? If she's an annoying user, I can guarantee at 5 p.m. you wouldn't have checked on her after she left. Questionable.
Bro, this guy's like the IT detective. Just laugh at the story and keep going. Jesus Christ. This guy's nitpicking every single little detail of the story. Drive is an imminent threat of mechanical failure.
By 2015, many firms were replacing PCs with SSDs.
Bro, this guy's Sherlock Holming the story. Like, it's not that deep, bro. People on Reddit have too much time on their hands. Like, just read the story and keep going, man. Alright guys, so that's Funny IT Stories Part 2. If you guys enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing so we could push the video out to more people and grow the channel. Anyways, that's about it. Thank you.